All right, you guys, I am going to show you the awesome break apart. And we're going to choose modes multiplication or division, okay? So out of these, on when you're multiplying, you can choose what fact you want to work on. And you're like, man, I could really work on my times 3 facts. Okay, let's see what happens, because it's going to break apart the problem. So 3 times 0 would be the same thing as 2 groups of 0 and 1 more 0. You might be like, well, I don't need to do that when I have times 0 because I know it's going to be 0. But if I break it apart into 2 groups of 0, that would be 0. And 1 group of 0, well, that would be 0. And 0 is 0. That's a lot of zeros. Okay, but what about 3 times 3? Well, we can break it apart. 3 groups of 3 is really the same thing as 2 groups of 3 and then 1 more group of 3. So we're going to say, well, 2 groups of 3 is 6. And then 1 more group of 3 is 3. And when we put 6 and 3 together, we get 9. All right, 3 times 2, 3 groups of 2. But we're going to break that apart. Instead of 3 groups, we're going to look at it as 2 groups of 2 and 1 more group of 2. Well, I know 2 groups of 2 is 4, and 1 more group of 2 is 2. And if I add that together, I'm at 6. Okay, so it does it again for me. And it's like, break it apart. If I have a group of 3, or 3 groups, right, I can break it apart into 2 groups and 1 more. So 2 groups of 5, instead of thinking it as 3 groups of 5, I can go 2 groups of 5. Well, that's 10. And then 1 more group of 5 is 5. Add it together, and I'm at 15. Let's try 1 more. 3 groups. Oh, it's 3 groups. I can break it up into 2 groups and 1 more. So 2 groups of 2 is 4, and 1 more group of 2, boom, 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 is 2. Add it together, I'm at 6, okay? And it'll tell me how much time it took me and if I have any penalty, if I got any wrong. I could go back to menu, I could go multiplication, and I could choose another one to try. For example, times 4. What is it going to do for times 4? Well, if I have 4 groups, I'm going to break it apart into 2 groups and 2 more groups. Because that's a double-double, right? So double 5, that's 10. Double 5 again, that's another 10. So that is really 20. Okay, so this really works on taking these facts and breaking them apart to make it easier to think about. So division works the same way. If I'm like, all right, how can I do division with this? Well, let's try the first one. Okay, so I have 63 and I need to divide it into 9 what? Into 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 groups. 9 groups. Okay, there are my 9 groups. Well, how many am I going to need in each group? 9 groups of 4. Will that give me 63? No. 9 groups of 5? No. 9 groups of 7? I think so. Okay, so if we try another, I have 0 divided into 9 groups. There it is. How many are going to be in each group if I have 0 to give out? Well, 9 times what is 0? 0 is going to be in every group. Let's try one more. 28. And I'm dividing it into what? 4 groups. See that? 4 parts. 4 groups. So is it going to be 4 groups of 4? Is it going to be 4, 4, 4, and 4? Or is it going to be 5, 5, 5, and 5? Or is it going to be 7, 7, 7, 7? In this case, it's going to be 7s. All right, so it helps me visualize what's happening in the division problems. Okay? All right, break it apart, everyone, and multiply and divide.